Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to today's webinar for the 14-day liver rehab cleanse. I'm so excited you guys are on today because I just am so happy I finally put together a liver cleanse program like this because I can't emphasize enough the importance of caring for your liver, cleansing your liver, rehabbing your liver to facilitate health and detoxification. And I can't emphasize that enough. So today I'm going, really what I want to do is go over everything we're going to be doing on this program. And essentially, I'll be reviewing, the toxic liver epidemic and what this means for your health and what you can do about it. That's the topic for today. But when it comes to cleansing your liver, you can't just, think about this once a year and forget it and think you did a flush, or maybe you do a coffee enema every once in a while, or some sort of cleanse, or take one bottle of a liver supplement. You've got to cleanse your liver on a regular basis. And this is such an important skill set to know because this program is a crash course in how to care for your liver for life. It's not just this 14 days, but I'm so thrilled that you made this important decision for your self-care. It's my mission to teach people about the importance of detoxification, and that begins with the liver, that begins with caring for your liver. And so you can't, what I want you to do with the skills you're going to learn in this webinar and in this program is take all this stuff, do it to as much as you can for this 14 days where we're going to be doing it all together. But you're going to be using the skills that you learn for life so you can continue to do this, continue to care for your liver. And in doing that, you're going to prevent gallbladder surgery, which is one of the most common surgeries for women over 50. You're going to prevent digestive issues. You're going to be able to detox your body better. You're going to prevent a lot of disease just by doing these simple things. It's not difficult. It's not expensive to do. It's so fundamental to health. I can't express that enough. So here's what we're going to review on this webinar. And so I first off, I apologize for all the issues that we had for everyone logging in to the course. There's so many tech issues. It's amazing. I mean, to run Myers Detox, we use 40 different pieces of software. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of software that we use, and stuff goes wrong. There's bugs, stuff breaks. So I think on Saturday, one of our pieces of software broke, and then of course no one could get in, and people are still having issues logging in. So I'm so sorry about that. It just happens. But I'm also going to orientate you on everything you need to know to prep for this cleanse. So everything you need to know so you can get ready and do it for the next 2 weeks. And also, and one thing about when we start it, you can start this cleanse at any time. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It can be any time. It's 14 days. You have instructions on each day. So you can start this at any time. But if you start it today, the only problem is that you're going to be doing your liver flush on Valentine's Day. And I don't think your Valentine is going to like that. I don't think you're going to like that. So you might want to start it in a couple of days just to skip that little window of celebrating with your loved one, or Galentine's Day, if you will, if you're celebrating with your girlfriends. So I'll also talk today about why it's so critical today to support liver function, the importance of that, and all the program benefits, like how to normalize your weight, hormones, and sleep with liver cleansing. We'll go into some of the benefits, but we'll go into a lot more details on the very last webinar about the intricacies of how the liver functions and the benefits of doing all these things and why they work exactly. And we'll also review the program guide and the optional supplies needed to do this liver cleanse, and also how to keep your liver in fighting shape. We're going to have a quick review of the detox protocols you'll be doing on this program. We'll go over the supplements. We'll go over foods for liver function, foods to avoid. a quick thing on coffee enemas, liver flushes, and castor oil packs, and we'll touch on essential oils also. And then we'll do a Q&A. And so I changed up the information a little bit. I was kind of going through and, creating the webinar, and I decided to move around the information a little bit. So next week, I figured it makes more sense to do an in-depth dive on detox protocols since you're doing, the castor oil packs and liver flushes and coffee enemas on this program. So next week, we're going to be doing an in-depth how to do a liver gallbladder flush. But today we're going to I'll tell you all the tools that you need for that so that you can do everything with us. So the next thing I want to talk about is like why it's so critical to support liver function. So number one, and this is a shocking statistic, there's an epidemic of fatty liver disease. And 1 in 3 Americans has a fatty liver. That's 100 million people. That is crazy. And I actually didn't realize that when I first started creating this course. And I was really shocked at that. My friend Jonathan Landsman has a new fatty liver docu-series that's coming out that's all about just fatty liver, which is brilliant. I'm not in it, but it just looks like an amazing docu-series that I'll probably be emailing about that to let you guys know. And the thing is, when someone has a fatty liver, most people don't know they have a fatty liver. But when you have a fatty liver, you have healthy liver cells that have been replaced with fat cells. So about 10% of the liver is fat or has become fatty. And that's 10%. So you have a dramatic reduction in function in your liver, the things that the liver does when you have a fatty liver. And so this means you're going to have a harder time breaking down fat, breaking down sugar, controlling your blood sugar. That leads to diabetes. You'll have a trouble breaking down, refined grains and flours, trouble metabolizing and breaking down toxins like metals and chemicals, medications, over-the-counter painkillers, alcohol, all this stuff we're throwing at our liver every day. And so it's just amazing to me that if someone's overweight, they're going to tend to be more prone to having fatty liver. So it's something you can get checked out at your doctor's. And if you do get that checked out, you do get a diagnosis, you do have high liver enzymes, that to you can be a wake-up call as to why you really need to do this type of program and implement these things. Not just learn about it and sit by the sidelines, but implement these things that you're going to be learning in this course. This is the stuff that I do. And I just can't tell you how much better I feel since I started doing liver cleansing about 10 years ago. And so let's just reflect on that for a moment. 100 million people. So the Liver Foundation reported on these numbers. And I've also seen information studies that I've reviewed that fatty liver prevalence is about the same as metabolic syndrome, which affects about 25 to 30% of the population. And that's roughly about 100 million people. And so metabolic syndrome is people that have diabetes, where they're overweight, they have high blood sugar, they have high cholesterol, but they also have fatty liver. So even if you don't have full-blown fatty liver disease or a diagnosis, many people have livers that are overworked and overwhelmed, with bad diets, toxins, the standard American diet, all the garbage that people put in their body. Or even if you eat healthy now, for a long time, including myself, you ate really bad. Lots of sugar, lots of refined grains, lots of flours, lots of partially hydrogenated oils, fried foods, all this crap that your liver has to break down and deal with. So we have all, we're all in this together. We've all abused our livers to a large degree. And so that's why today, a lot of doctors say, oh, your liver, you don't have to do anything. Liver cleansing is BS, or coffee enemas are, or whatnot. But all the natural cancer centers around the world, guess what they're doing? They're doing coffee enemas and liver flushes and liver support supplements, because if you can't detox your body, you are sick. So they do everything they can to flush the liver, flush it, and get it working again to detox the body. And so I don't care what Wikipedia says about coffee enemas or what a medical doctor says that has no experience whatsoever in telling people how to care for their liver, because there's really not a lot of options if you're at a conventional medical doctor's office if something goes wrong with it. I have had hundreds of clients say, hey, I have high liver enzymes. What should I do? I got no info from my doctor. There's no medication to take. There's no options. It's just kind of crazy to me. So don't take your doctor's advice when it comes to liver care. And so what happens also when people have these overwhelmed livers, these toxic livers that can't handle all this stuff coming at them, they don't make enough bile needed to break down and absorb tons of fats. Their liver doesn't manage their blood sugar as well. And so there's just a lot of complications that come with your liver being overburdened. So we're going to cleanse it over this next 2 weeks. And so just to kind of illustrate how much the liver has to deal with, I want to talk about the top toxins destroying your liver, or really taxing it. So number one, there's heavy metals. You guys hear me talk about this all the time, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, barium, cadmium, lead, mercury, lots of other heavy metals the liver has to deal with. There's pharmaceutical drugs. There's some statistic like most people over 50 years old are taking 5 or more medications. And a lot of them are taking over-the-counter painkillers. I was shocked to learn my mom takes Advil every single day. When I went over to Thanksgiving to visit her, she told me that she just has achy, she's achy and she takes Advil every single day. We know a lot of people in our family that are doing that. They take Tylenol or Advil or Aleve or something, not realizing this places a huge burden on your liver. It uses up all of your glutathione dealing with this toxin and breaking it down, and your liver is more susceptible to disease and that isn't able to detox your body as well. Other toxins that are arriving in your body through your diet and the water and air, because it's dealing with so many different pharmaceutical drugs. So, anything you put in your body, your liver has to break down. So I always recommend people, if they can, to always look for natural alternatives when they're prescribed a medication. There isn't always a substitute, but a lot of times there is, and that can be a much better alternative. So industrial pollutants, diesel fumes, industrial wastes, including benzenes, xylenes, toluenes, and fluorosilicic acid or fluoride, which is put in the water supplies. We have to break all that down. We're getting it in the shower every day, unless you have a whole house water filter or shower filter. Then there's plant toxins. There's lectins. There's phytates. There's agglutinins. There's wheat germ agglutinin. There's just all kinds of different plant toxins. There's aflatoxins that you get in peanuts. There's mold. A lot of coffees have mold in them. There's food allergens. There's alkaloids and other plant toxins that are, problematic. Our body and liver have to deal with that. And there's microbial toxins. There's E. coli. There's salmonella. There's shigella, and there's all kinds of other, parasites that are in our food. And then there's other xenobiotic compounds. People take illegal drugs. They take or are dealing with organochlorine, organophosphorus, pesticides, phthalates, trimethyl halides, or they're dealing with chlorine and bromine and fluoride. There's any pool you're swimming in, you're getting bromine or chloride. And then there's food colorings and preservatives and flavoring. So there's just then there's endogenous compounds, things we make in our body that are toxic. We make free radicals, we make homocysteine, we make dopal, we make quinolinate, we make, AGEs or advanced glycation end products. There's just a lot of different things we deal with that our body makes that if your liver isn't working so well, it's not going to be able to handle those toxins. So just a lot of stuff coming at the liver. And the liver has 2,000 jobs in the body, 2,000. So believe me, you want its functioning optimized. So besides filtration, the liver plays a major role in every single one of the body's metabolic processes. It breaks down fat to produce energy. It metabolizes carbohydrates, making sure your blood sugar levels stay constant. It helps to produce cholesterol, the good kind you need for brain function, hormone production, and to repair the body. Cholesterol is not bad. We need cholesterol. I actually eat foods that are high in cholesterol specifically to get the cholesterol. Like I love fish eggs. I eat fish eggs. I eat runny egg yolks. I'll eat other foods because I want that cholesterol. We need it in moderation. And it's also responsible in breaking down amino acids in food to produce energy or create new proteins. It's involved in destroying old and damaged red blood cells. And also when you're sick, your liver has to break down all kinds of debris and dead viruses and things. So doing a lot of liver cleansing when you're sick or after you've been sick can really help the liver process. It also breaks down and metabolizes hormones like estrogen, helps to break down excess estrogens, xenobiotic estrogens, which are synthetic estrogens that we get in our environment. And so if your liver is not working, you're going to build up excess estrogen. You're going to be more overweight. That's why women are a little bit more fluffy than men, because we have more estrogen. It just causes us to have more fat in our bodies. And so we don't want excess of that, because that will cause even more excess on our body, excess weight. And the liver also obviously removes toxins, heavy metals, chemicals, alcohol, and drugs from the bloodstream. It aids in digestion and detox by producing bile. Bile is the best binder on the planet, so we're going to be optimizing bile. So exciting, I know, on this 14-day liver cleanse. And the liver is responsible for aiding in sleep, in helping set circadian rhythms, produce melatonin production. It's also involved in storing essential nutrients and minerals like iron and copper, and zinc, things like that. And so while the liver is incredibly resilient and it can regenerate, it's also a delicate organ susceptible to disease and toxicity. And in order for our liver to be able to take care of us, we have to take care of it. So I'm so glad you guys have joined me on this webinar, on this 14-day cleanse. So let's talk about the benefits of liver cleansing. So let's talk about how to normalize weight, hormones, and sleep with liver cleansing. And so one of the biggest benefits of cleansing your liver, flushing your liver, is easier weight loss. So, and I dealt with this for a while where I just felt like I was killing myself trying to lose weight, and I just couldn't figure out, like, how much do I have to starve myself? How much do I have to fast? How good do I have to eat? How much do I have to exercise? I just felt like I was hitting my head against a wall, a hamster in a wheel, and not really getting anywhere. And part of my issue was my liver just wasn't functioning optimally. And so for many people, if they have resistant weight loss or they have rapid weight gain, it's usually due to toxins or an overloaded liver. It's one facet of it, because the liver is involved in so many different things that if it's not working correctly, can promote weight gain, high blood sugar, not digesting your fats. If you're not digesting your food very well, you're going to be craving more and more and more food. Even though you're eating a lot of food and getting all those calories, you're not absorbing the nutrients. So you crave more food. There's just and also if you can't remove toxins from your body very efficiently, what's going to happen, and I want to explain this kind of phenomena, is that when your liver is clogged or congested or overwhelmed, this creates this backlog of toxins the liver can't process, and the body is forced to store toxins in fat cells. It's a perfect storage receptacle. And so this is a huge reason so many people can't lose weight, because the body has to store these toxins someplace, and a lot of them are fat-soluble toxins. And so it will resist, the body and in its innate intelligence will resist your attempts to lose this fat. And so that's why a lot of people have trouble losing that last 5 or 10 or 15 pounds, because the body's like, no, I need this. And so it's a survival mechanism that can only be broken by stopping the influx of toxins like toxic beauty products and bad diet, and then cleansing and detoxing the liver and body. And so by purging and cleansing the liver, this stops this vicious cycle that's promoting, resistant weight loss. And so you're not going to lose weight overnight. Just a disclaimer here. You're not going to lose weight overnight, and you're not going to do one liver flush and lose 20 pounds. But if you repeatedly cleanse the liver and care for it, weight loss will eventually become easier. For a lot of you guys, you're going to be doing, this first liver cleanse for the liver flush, the liver gallbladder flush. For many of you, it will be the first one that you've ever done. And it's totally amazing. It's not always super comfortable, but very, very necessary. The first one can be a little bit rough for some people, but and some of you need to do it like once a month, maybe for 6-8 months, before you really get everything out of your liver and you've really kind of cleaned that filter for your body, and get it optimized and get it working correctly. And so the liver is, it's not going to happen overnight. You've got a lot of work to do beyond just this 14 days, but you will feel better after this 14-day cleanse. But it's, like I said, I'm teaching you these tools so that you continue to use them for life, because I want to really drill into you the importance of doing this stuff and why you need to cleanse your liver. And so a lot of the benefits are going to be, you're going to have more energy. Your liver will have a better ability to process, metabolize glucose and make glycogen, which is the storage form of sugar. And it'll help to balance your hormones. So the liver metabolizes those excess hormones like estrogen and breaks down toxic estrogens that interfere in your natural hormones production and function. These xenoestrogens go in, you have these estrogen receptor sites in your body, and these xenoestrogens go in and fill up all those receptor sites. And then your body says, oh, we don't need to make estrogen. All the receptor sites are filled up. And so you end up having low estrogen production because of that. And so that's why a lot of women are estrogen dominant, even though their estrogen levels on their blood tests or their urine hormone tests are low. And it's kind of like this catch-22. And part of that is because we've got to fix the liver so that the liver can better process and break down and eliminate these fake or xenoestrogens that are so prevalent in our environment, from plastics, from preservatives and beauty products, and just all the different places that we encounter these xenoestrogens, perfumes, petroleum products. I mean, the petroleum jelly, and stuff that's in a lot of lotions and gasoline that you breathe in, and car exhaust. There's lots of xenoestrogens in our environment that tax the liver and interfere in hormones. And also better sleep. The liver is involved in your circadian rhythms and helping to produce melatonin. And a lot of you guys, a lot of my clients have trouble sleeping, so that you might get to sleep, but then you wake up at 2 or 3 and you're just wide awake, and you just get this, you're annoyed, and you get this rush of cortisol, and you can't go back to sleep. You're like, I'm never going to get back to sleep. And part of that is an angry liver. And I dealt with this for years, and I watched every movie on Netflix. So I'd wake up and I just could not go back to sleep, and it drove me nuts. And I know a lot of you guys are very frustrated about your sleep, but part of that is cleansing your liver, because the liver is just, the liver in traditional Chinese medicine is the seat of anger. And so for a lot of you guys that are having maybe inappropriate outbursts of anger, or feel like lose control sometimes, I feel like our society generally is much more angry and quick to snap, and people are mean on social media. And part of it is their livers are just overwhelmed, and they're just more angry and irritated and frustrated, and they maybe just don't understand why. but part of it is that liver is just overwhelmed. Again, we talked about better digestion. When your liver's working better, you make more bile, which helps to detox toxins. You make more lipase, which helps to digest fats, and just everything's kind of humming along, working better, less bloating and gas, etc. You'll also get better labs for cholesterol and triglycerides by purging your liver. You'll be in a better mood. Like I said, you won't have as much anger and frustration and irritability and bitchiness. And also improve food sensitivities. A lot of people don't realize when you do liver gallbladder flushes, food sensitivities disappear, sometimes after the first gallbladder flush. So, and it's certainly if you're doing a series of them, you may find your food sensitivities disappear. So you're welcome ahead of time. That's not going to happen with coffee enemas. I haven't heard of that, but certainly with the gallbladder flushes, the liver gallbladder flushes, that can and does happen. So I'll get to you guys' questions in a second. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. If you guys have any questions whatsoever here at all, I can't wait to answer all of your questions. So let me just find those here. Oh yes, lots and lots of questions already. Fantastic. Okay, and so I'm going to review the program outline today and all the optional supplies needed on this program. So we'll go over some supplements, foods, coffee enemas, liver flushes, and castor oil packs. This is all the stuff that we're doing on this program. So the program in your 14-day liver rehab program guide, there's all the instructions from day 1 to 14 are completely outlined in this guide. So if you haven't, logged into the course, log into the course and download that guide. There's very, very detailed day-by-day instructions for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So just follow that to the T. It couldn't be easier to do that. And so within those instructions, you don't have to buy anything to do this cleanse, but at some point you will. At some point, if you want to do coffee enemas and liver flushes, you're going to have to invest in your health and get some supplies. So you don't have to do it in this 14-day period of for some reason money's tight or what have you, but at some point you need to buy this stuff and just do it. It's not that expensive. So like I said, all this stuff is completely optional. You can still do a lot of the liver program without buying anything. But first I want to talk about some of the supplements we're going to be using. The first one is my daily detox. It's liver support greens. It's totally organic. And I created this specifically to have tons of liver supporting herbs and plants in it. And because, like I said, I'm so passionate about helping people to support their liver. And so many people just think taking milk thistle is enough. I mean, I cannot tell you how many people or friends or clients tell me they're taking milk thistle, and that just is not enough. It's a start and it's great, but it just isn't enough. You need a lot more support than that. You need it with other nutrients, other herbs, and diet as well, which we'll get to in a second. But the number one ingredient in this is the fermented broccoli sprouts. And so these have 2 health promoting compounds in them in abundance. And broccoli sprouts are the number 1 detox food on the planet because they're one of the top sources of something called sulforaphane. And it also has glucoraphanin. And these substances switch on your body's detox, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and brain supportive pathways. And the glucoraphanin acts as kind of a precursor to sulforaphane, and it's activated by an enzyme in your body. And then both of these constituents have been at the center of hundreds of studies for their health promoting properties and detox ability. Because the sulforaphane, this is about 8% fermented broccoli sprouts. And the sulforaphane in the daily detox, that sulfur helps your liver to grab onto toxins and then to break them down. So it's really, really supportive of the liver. And it really has a huge impact on our detox pathways. So a lot of people make the mistake of they're doing a detox or taking all those supplements, and then they're not really doing anything to cleanse their liver or support their liver or do coffee enemas or flush the liver, and then they start getting detox symptoms and they feel like crap and they're tired and have headaches and they're bitchy. And well, not surprising because your liver can't deal with anymore. And so we don't want to start mobilizing all this garbage without, some exit for the toxin to have an exit in the body. And so, if you really kind of feel like you're not on top of your game, you feel stressed or brain fogged or fatigued or anything, it can be due to toxic buildup, and you've got to support your liver. And so essentially that's the long and the short of the broccoli sprouts. You can also eat broccoli sprouts, but they're not readily available. And I find that in the grocery stores, and I find a lot of the broccoli sprouts that are available are old. They're several days old. Though I have found fresh ones, but I do grow them at home because I eat them. I try to eat them every single day. Yeah, but they're kind of a pain to grow, but they do grow really easy. You can grow them in a jar. My brother was growing them, and he started growing them, and it all just became really, really moldy. So it's there's tips to it. I'm gonna have an article pretty soon on how to grow broccoli sprouts. You guys can do it on your own. But in the meantime, it's a lot of people, for just being practical, it's easier just to take the broccoli sprouts in this. But it also has beetroot powder. Beetroot's, classic for supporting the liver. Fermented ginger. It has fermented turmeric, because when foods are fermented, they release all the nutrients in them, so the nutrients are more bioavailable. Though these don't release histamines, there's no bacteria left over. Legally in the US, you can't have any bacteria left over in a powder type product, so it's not fermented like a probiotic or fermented cabbage. It's not the same. You're not going to have any histamine reactions with this, even though it has fermented on the label. This also has dandelion root as well, which is classic for helping liver. It has milk thistle in it, and it has Chinese skullcap, schizandra berry, it has dulse seaweed, and burdock root. Burdock root's amazing for the liver, and I never find that available in the US to eat, but I've actually eaten a lot of it. I used to, when you go to Japanese food markets or Korean places, there was a Korean kind of stall at my farmer's market, and they actually had this burdock root, which was soaked in vegetable broth, and it was delicious. But for most people, they're not eating burdock root. I've had it at a Japanese restaurant before, but for most people, you're just not getting this amazing food at all. But so I put it in the daily detox. So this is great for liver support. So that's why I'm having you guys eat a scoop of this every single day. And then the next thing we're doing is the Citra Cleanse. And so I highly recommend doing this. If you haven't got them already, I recommend grabbing them in our store. So the next one is this Citra Cleanse Toxin Binder. This is a grapefruit citrus pectin plus cilantro extract plus fulvic and humic acid. And so these are really, really key because they help to bind toxins in your blood and in your gut that are perhaps not being removed by your liver. So anything that's kind of floating around, or anything you're going to dislodge by purging, by flushing your liver, this can be really, really help to absorb all that stuff like a sponge. And it can help because it's kind of bitter. The grapefruit citrus pectin tastes bitter. You need that bitterness to produce bile. That's why a lot of bitter foods and bitters in supplements are used to promote digestion, because they make bile, and you need bile for detoxification. So this is a really great 3-in-1 detox that absorbs in any toxins released by coffee enemas or the liver flush. So that's key to get. You just take 1 scoop a day. And so let's get to the best and worst foods for liver detox. So I want you guys to stock up on some of the foods that optimize liver function. And I want you to try new recipes that incorporate these liver pro foods in your diet and start eating them more. And but I also, in the program guide, there's a foods list that I want you to stick to. I only want you to eat foods for this next 2 weeks from that approved foods list that's in the program guide. And so I want you to figure out exactly, I don't want you to have any guesswork in this. I want you to stick to the following food list to figure out exactly what to eat and what to avoid to support healthy liver detoxification. So first, let's go over some of the foods to avoid, because these are really toxic to your liver. And so the first one's gluten. So a lot of you guys know that, but gluten by itself isn't necessarily bad. I mean, there's definitely about 1 in 10 people that are truly gluten intolerant or celiac or have, gluten sensitivity, which is, definitely problematic. And some people have just a mild gluten sensitivity, but it's inflammatory. But the bigger issue is in the US, most of the wheat, most of the products that contain wheat contain gluten. They also have glyphosate, which is an herbicide that I think really causes a lot of the symptoms of what people think is gluten insensitivity, like the stomach aches and the brain fog and other things that come with what people are mistaking for gluten sensitivity. So I have trouble with wheat and gluten. So I want you to avoid wheat and the derivatives of wheat, like wheat berries, semolina, durum, spelt, farina, farro, graham, like graham crackers, einkorn, rye, barley, triticale, malt, brewer's yeast, and wheat starch while you are on this program. Also, all the processed and packaged foods, nope. Refined bread, pasta, crackers, cookies, donuts, desserts, even if they're gluten-free. Don't want any sugar or desserts. Avoid any packaged foods with added colors, sweeteners, preservatives like MSG, which hides out as yeast extract on the label. So be careful there. That's MSG. Even though it's natural, it's still MSG. And corn and corn-based products. Corn just basically breaks down into sugar in your body, and it's a sugar source for some people. But it's going to be very highly inflammatory because so many of us have eaten a lot of high fructose corn syrup or corn-derived ingredients in a lot of processed foods. And so they cause inflammation. They cause an immune response. So corn is typically good to avoid. I'm not going to, be upset if you have some corn on the cob, some organic corn, that's fine. But a lot of people, just be aware, are sensitive to corn, and it can lead to gut inflammation and exacerbate leaky gut. So not everyone has a problem with this, but just so you're aware. Legumes. So I want you to avoid soy and peanuts. Soy should be avoided except in fermented forms. So, natto is usually fine, or tempeh is usually fine. And occasionally some tofu, that it's fine on occasion. But some people are really, really sensitive to soy because the majority of soy is genetically modified. So it's just, if you're not eating organic soy, it's genetically modified and going to be causing allergies and everything. So peanuts frequently contain aflatoxin, so avoid peanuts, peanut butter. And aflatoxin is a mold that's toxic to the liver and can cause liver cancer. So I avoid peanuts. And but beans like pinto and black beans, those are fine. I'm not talking about those. I'm only talking about soy and peanuts here. Refined sugar, I want you to avoid as best you can. Cane sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, turbinado sugar, hipster sugar, agave, high fructose corn syrup, all that stuff, bad. So just your body doesn't know any difference. Fruit's fine. Fruit, A-okay. Artificial sweeteners come in many names, many forms, highly toxic, a lot of known carcinogens. Sunnet, Sweet One, Advitame, Alatame, Aspartame, NutraSweet, Equal, Sweet and Low, Twin Sugar, Sugar Twin, Splenda. No, those have to go. Those are extremely neurotoxic. Okay is stevia, lakanto, monk fruit, xylitol, erythritol. Totally fine. Those are okay. I want you to avoid, and this is all in your program guide, so you don't have to write down and take notes. It's all in your program guide. Just go download it. I want you to avoid industrial seed oils. Very, very inflammatory. People don't realize it. And you're getting this when you eat out. You're getting this at the buffet at Whole Foods. You're getting canola oil. I don't care if it's organic. It's still, a lot of these are polyunsaturated. They're rancid. They go rancid when they're heated up enough to cook with them. And they're very inflammatory. Corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, safflower, sunflower, grapeseed, and cottonseed oils, which you find in processed foods. So the safflower, sunflower, and grapeseed can be okay if they're cold, but they're okay, but I don't want you to be cooking in those. But I just generally avoid these because they're polyunsaturated. They're very unstable. They go rancid, inflammatory. Processed fats. So no fried foods, partially hydrogenated fats and oils, including shortening and margarine. Those are bad. Processed dairy. So if you do eat dairy, just avoid processed dairy, which is homogenized and pasteurized. Raw dairy is okay. Raw dairy is fine. Organic, grass-fed, raw. That's what I eat. But I still can't really do butter, butter, cream. I tend to be okay. But everyone's different. If the dairy doesn't work for you, don't eat it. Beverages. So I want you to avoid any drink that has sugar in it. A lot of people get a lot of their calories from their drinks. So I have a rule. I don't get any sugar from drinks unless it's a juice, like a watermelon juice. I'm not going to sweat myself over that. For the most part, no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, chemicals, avoid soda, energy drinks, avoid alcohol, and a little caffeine is fine. If you want a little caffeine in the morning, it's just another thing your liver has to deal with. So if you can go without caffeine during this liver flush, great. And I want you to replace your tap water you're drinking in plastic water bottles, except for the Wata. I recommend people drink this Wata. It only comes in plastic, but that's the only exception. But if you're just drinking, there's so many benefits to this Wata water. It's crazy. I cannot even tell you how much it's changed my life. It's just amazing. There's a podcast with Rob Gorley about this water. I encourage everyone to drink it every day. But that's the only exception I make for the plastic. And the reason is because glass steals electrons. The reason for drinking this water is it's a really high electron water, which negatively charges your body, which is how it's supposed to be. And that counteracts that positive charge you're getting from EMF or like Wi-Fi, computers, internet, Bluetooth, and all this stuff that's really, really messing up people's health. So positive charge, this negates that. It negatively charges your body, so your body works properly and your brain works properly and your cells work properly. They're actually hydrated. So that's the only exception. But other waters, they just kind of marginally hydrate you. No plastic. Get them in glass or get a water filter. Let's see. So no fried foods, no table salt. So no, Morton's table salt. Only sea salt is allowed. So let's talk about what you can eat, the approved foods list. And so in the course program guide, there's a list of all the approved foods that you can have during the 14-day cleanse. And it's best to have your pantry kind of stocked with all these different foods to support an organic, whole foods-based diet. Most of you are doing that already, hopefully. But over the next 14 days, I want you to focus on eating more vegetables, high quality proteins, a little bit less animal protein than usual, healthy fats, fruits, gluten-free grains. But the best foods to support liver detox are fruits like avocados, apples are amazing, berries, grapefruit, and lemons and limes. So those are amazing for your liver in many, many different ways. And I explain the exact details of why in the program guide. And the vegetables that are really supportive of your liver are beets, artichokes, asparagus, celery, cruciferous vegetables like Brussels sprouts, broccoli sprouts, cauliflower. The cauliflower is not my favorite, but it's still liver supportive because it has a lot of sulfur. Collard greens, mustard greens, any kind of leafy greens are great. Salads, onions, and garlic. So those are the top liver supporting foods. And I actually grow mustard greens. I grew up in Texas, and we always were eating mustard greens, and I just love them. I don't know why they're really better, but I remember just gobbling them up when I was 10 years old and just loving them. And they have a lot of B17, and they have a lot of amazing compounds in them that are super healthy. And so I try to really get a lot of these foods in my diet every day. Every day I'm eating one or more of these types of foods. I drink a lot of beet and celery juice and ginger juice. I drink apple juice. I used to never drink apple juice. I was like, oh my God, the sugar. But there's tons of malic acid in it and tons of really helpful compounds in it to cleanse your liver. So actually my fiance, Mitch, he started really got me more on doing apple juice. He's like, it's on a regular basis, and he'll just get a huge gallon of it and just drink that throughout the whole week, and do like his own little liver cleanse with that. And I started joining him, but yeah, I used to kind of avoid apple juice because of the sugar. But some of these foods have a lot of benefits, so you have to do that cost benefit analysis for yourself. So let's, I know you guys have a lot of burning questions here. I'm going to get to those in a second, but I want to go over a couple other things. So I want to talk to you guys about coffee enemas. And I know you guys, you can't wait to do all these coffee enemas, but they're really important. And I realize that a lot of you guys, just the thought of a coffee enema just makes you want to run screaming in the other direction. But I assure you, I promise you, you are going to love coffee enemas once you try one. I'm sure there's lots of people here that I've already somehow, in some way, convinced to do coffee enemas on a regular basis, and they love them. I'll answer all your questions. I know some of you guys have questions about coffee enemas and you're sensitive to caffeine and other things like that. So we'll answer all those questions, at some point on the next 3 webinars. And there's lots of questions that are answered on the 2 videos, video number 1 and 2. Video number 1 is me talking about everything you never wanted to know about coffee enemas in the course. That answers a lot of questions. There's a Q&A at the end of it. And then Eileen Durfee, who I love, she's one of my favorite people. She also talks about coffee enemas and coffee enema equipment and the benefits of coffee enemas. And we'll go over some of the equipment here. You can see it back here. And, but I can't stress enough how important it is to do coffee enemas. So I'm asking you to commit to doing a coffee enema every other day during this program. And you're going to want to be doing them after you do the liver flush and you drink all the olive oil mixture, and you finish your liver flush. The next day, it's interesting what starts happening, and you are going to want to be doing coffee enemas to flush everything out that's coming out of you after you're kind of building up your liver and then drinking this cup of olive oil mixture, and the next morning all the gallstones start coming out. You're going to be much more comfortable if you facilitate that with coffee enemas, or even water flushing, doing water enemas. That's fine too for people that can't do coffee for whatever reason. You can just do water, and but you're going to want to do that. It's just going to make it a lot more comfortable. So more on that in a minute. So just coffee enemas are far superior to plain water enemas, because a lot of people think the coffee enemas are just for cleaning out your colon. That's not what they're for. That's one benefit of them, especially if someone's constipated a lot. You've got to do something about that. Just don't let that linger and just only go to the bathroom every other day or every 3 days. That's really bad for your health, because you're absorbing all this waste products that your body's trying to get out. Your body starts reabsorbing that because it's not transiting through you fast enough. So You want to make sure that if you are constipated, you want to be doing coffee and even water enemas, whatever you got to do to get to not be constipated. So coffee enemas provide a lot of different benefits. They give you theobromine, theophylline, palmitic acid, and the caffeine in the coffee travel via the rich capillary bed of the rectum into the portal vein, which leads directly to your liver. And then these substances dilate all your blood vessels. They open up all the bile ducts, allowing the liver to release bile, which contains toxins. And then all that empties into your intestines. And then you poop it out. And then you're cleaning that out with, putting the coffee enema inside you and evacuating, putting the coffee inside you, evacuating. And so that's why we're doing them. And it also helps to increase glutathione a lot, which is the body's master antioxidant that's grabbing onto toxins and escorting them out of the body. They just don't magically come out. There has to be an abundance of substances that bind to them to escort them out of the body. And glutathione is one of them. Glutathione breaks down toxins, but that has to be done before those toxins can be released. So we'll get into coffee enemas later, but I just want to go over the equipment that you need to get so that you can do this cleanse. So number one, my favorite thing is a coffee enema bucket here, and it's about a 2-quart or 2-liter bucket. And so the instructions to use this to do a coffee enema you have a whole guide how to do coffee enemas, and there's a video to watch that will walk you through it. The first time or two is a little messy, not so glamorous, but you get the gist of it really, really fast, and you figure it out very fast. And so what I do is I boil 2 tablespoons of coffee in some water. I boil it on the stove, and then I take that and I filter it. I take the grinds out and I put it into a larger pot. To that, I add filtered water until it's kind of room temperature, and then I fill my bucket up. So I fill this whole thing up, and then the goal is to hold it about 10 to 15 minutes. You don't have to do that at one time. I can't even do that. Sometimes that happens, but some people can do that no problem. Other people, they have a hard time holding it, and that's okay. You just have to do what you do. Listen to your body. If you feel like you only fill up about, maybe a cup of coffee. It's not that much. You don't have to put a ton of coffee in you. Some say, oh, put 2 cups in. That's so much coffee. You may not make it to the toilet if you put in 2 cups of coffee inside you to do the coffee enema. So what you want to be doing is, first, you just want to, fill up with just a little bit of coffee. You'll usually evacuate your colon, your rectum, and then you fill up again, and you just hold it for as long as you can. When you feel the urge to go. Fill up again. Hold it as long as you can. Sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 minutes. Sometimes longer. Evacuate. Fill up again. And having this bucket allows you to fill up over and over and over and over. So if you do have an accident, or you can't hold it that long, you have more coffee here ready to go. And so that's what I do. I usually fill up and evacuate about 5 times, so I take my time. And so I like a bucket because it's easy to clean. You can kind of set it on a shelf or whatnot, or you can hang it with the handle. And so very, very handy. You can't travel with this. So I also have a bag here, a coffee enema bag, and you can it comes with a clip, so you can it comes with a hook, so you can hook it on like a shower rack or something, and then same thing, the rope will come down here. This is a Seeking Health brand, but there's a brand I have in my store that's from Eileen Durfee. It's like a pink coffee enema bag, and this is really good for traveling. So I take this traveling with me. And then Eileen also has a pump So it's a catheter with a pump. So if some people can't, lay down on the floor, or they can't get into a bathtub or wherever they want to do their coffee enema. And so the pump can be really handy so that maybe they can just sit on the toilet and do it. Some people have back problems, and they can't get into a position that would facilitate the gravity helping the coffee get inside them. So the pump kind of solves that problem. So I'm going to give you guys these links here for all the stuff. If you want to check out the bucket or the bag or the pump, you can do so. So here's the links for that stuff right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, okay, great. So, so the next thing I want to talk about is the coffee that you want to use. So really any organic coffee is fine. Some people get all worked up like, oh, you have to use coffee enema coffee that's really blonde. And other people say, oh, you can only use dark. I've kind of, I used the blonde coffee for a long period of time, and it was fine, but I find that I prefer the darker coffees. I don't know why, I just feel better about them. I've read a lot of stuff on the internet that people tend to favor and recommend the darker coffees, and kind of like a medium roast, not a dark coffee, because that's kind of burnt and might have more acrylamides in it. But any, medium roast organic coffee is perfectly fine. You can just buy the cheapest one. It has to be the whole bean. Okay, so the reason for that is when coffee is ground up, it releases a lot of the oils that it has, a lot of the healthy, amazing properties, the antioxidant. The coffee is really nutrient dense. And when you're doing a coffee enema, you're getting all those nutrients, you're absorbing them. It's fantastic. And so you don't want to have a ground coffee that's been oxidized, where the oils have gone rancid, where the nutrients have disappeared. So I don't recommend ground coffee ever, whether you're drinking it or coffee enemas. You want the whole bean and grind it, and then brew your coffee enema coffee. So the coffee that I use this Purity coffee, and so you guys can see that here. And I like this Purity coffee because it's organic and it's mold free. And so I want to be using mold free coffee. I like bulletproof coffee, but it's not organic. But they do, I think the farms they're buying from are supposedly not using pesticides, but it's not certified organic. So this is the one that I use, Purity. I love it so much. It tastes delicious. And for your coffee drinkers, what you can do, and this is what I do, is I drink my coffee in the morning, and usually the grinds are just sitting there, and I'll just use those grinds and recycle them and just squeeze all the other nutrients out of them that I can to make the coffee enema coffee, and just use that. So it just, saves money. I was going to throw those away anyways, and it works just fine. So that's what I do. And so I'll answer all your guys' questions about coffee enemas in a sec. I'm almost done here. And so the next thing I want to talk about are castor oil packs. Oh, and yeah, so what I'm mentioning for the coffee enemas, the frequency, I want you to do them every other day. And so I don't typically recommend people doing them more frequent than that. I mean, there's a lot of clients I've had that were like, no, I don't want to do coffee enemas. I'm not interested in that. I don't like the sound of that. It sounds disgusting. And then they try them and they're doing them every single day. Why? Because they feel amazing. You feel fantastic after you do a coffee enema. I actually do them before I do a podcast because it clears my brain. I think better. I'm more articulate. Everything is a lot more clear. And it's not just the caffeine, because I drink coffee and I don't have that same clarity that I do when I do a coffee enema. It really helps a lot, and you just feel less toxic. You feel a lot better, and just so many benefits, which we'll get into another time. But those are all also in the How to Do a Coffee Enemas guide as well. But I want you to do them on this program about every other day. If you don't have time to do that, that's fine. Just do them as much as you can. Even once a week is fine. Just something. Just try one. So the next thing is castor oil packs. There's a million benefits of castor oil packs. So, they help you get into like that relaxed parasympathetic state where you have to be to cleanse and detox and heal. A lot of people are really stressed out these days. So we've got to find every way possible to, calm down the nervous system. And castor oil is really effective in doing that. And so as soon as a castor oil pack is placed on your body, it stimulates the release of oxytocin, it releases dopamine, and it helps to move the body into a relaxed state because of that. And castor oil is also a really strong anti-inflammatory. And when it's worn over the liver, the castor oil pack helps to reduce inflammation, core inflammation, and it helps with, improving bloating as well and digestive issues. And it's very soothing for the liver as well. And castor oil is also shown in studies to be an excellent preserver of glutathione. So your body can recycle the components to keep making glutathione. The castor oil helps to preserve it so you can recycle it. And plus, when you're using castor oil packs, you absorb all these nutrients like fat-soluble vitamins that are in the castor oil. And this is really important because I don't recommend people take supplements with fat-soluble vitamins. I don't like people taking vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D in supplement form because a lot of it is made from black molded GMO corn. And so if any of you guys work with me on my programs, I'm not giving anyone vitamin D or vitamin E or vitamin A or anything like that because I want you to get those things in food. And castor oil is a great way to get those fat-soluble vitamins and a lot of other nutrients too. And so you can learn how to do learn how to do castor oil packs in the detailed guide, how to do castor oil packs. There's a guide in the course, and there's also a video I did with Dr. Marisol, who's, the Queen of Thrones, and she's so great. She has such great energy. And so she created this castor oil. It's organic castor oil. And I really like this because I've done castor oil packs before, but the only castor oil I ever found was in a plastic bottle and a clear plastic bottle. So what happens to that castor oil is it goes rancid because there's a lot of really delicate oils that are very healthy for you, but if they're exposed to light, they go rancid. This is why the highest quality oils are in dark bottles and they're in glass, because castor oil can really get a lot of the plastic that's in the bottle into the oil. That's just kind of how castor oil works. So you don't want to use castor oil in plastic clear bottles, and it needs to be organic, or it can have lots of pesticides in it, which are fat soluble, then absorb right into your body. So we don't want that. So I recommend getting this castor oil. This will last you a really long time. And so, and also Dr. Marisol has created this organic castor oil pack. It's organic cotton and organic materials, which is great. And you just grab it. It's just a simple little thing that, ties on to you, and you just put it on your liver and put 2 tablespoons of the castor oil and go to sleep. And you do that. You're going to do that every other night on the 14-day cleanse. And so, and she also has some really cool like castor facial oil that you can put on your eyes and things like that. And so if you want to get that, I'll just put the links here. If you guys haven't already, I'll give you the links to get that. And this is just the highest quality castor oil I've ever found. It's just amazing. And it's if you look around the internet, it's really difficult to find organic in glass, in dark glass. It almost doesn't exist. So there's a links there to get that stuff. So you're all ready. And then, so let's talk about the liver gallbladder flushes. Okay. And so we're going to be here a long time. It's already 6. So we're going to be here a while. So I'm not going anywhere until we answer all your questions. So I want to go over a little bit about these. We have a liver gallbladder flush on day 10 of the cleanse. So you want to get your stuff now so that you have it all ready to go. I don't carry any of the stuff for the liver gallbladder flush except for malic acid. You can get that in my store. So this is the malic acid. We have a different brand in the store, but any malic acid will work. It's pretty cheap. But you want to get all your stuff now. But I'm going to review these I'm going to review liver gallbladder flushes in depth in next week's webinar. Since that'll be about the times you guys will be starting the liver and gallbladder flush. And I want to review that right before you do one. But I want to touch on them and the supplies to get so you can order them in time for when the group is doing the flush. But essentially what it does, just a brief overview, is a liver and gallbladder flush effectively and painlessly removes stones or what appear to be gravel, crystals, and debris from the gallbladder and the liver and cleanses the liver and gallbladder bile ducts. So all that stuff just can collect things, and then you can have parasites in there, and the liver essentially starts creating like this little cholesterol ball to try to wall off this parasite and then protect you. And then over time, that can just start building up and building up and building up and get bigger and bigger till you can see it on an scanning or imaging, and it can start causing obstructions and pain and flare-ups, and the doctor telling you got to remove your gallbladder. You don't really need it. It's not necessary, but that's not true. So if you do these flushes, you will avoid gallbladder issues, gallbladder stones, and have your gallbladder surgically removed. So it's really an easy thing to do to prevent a lot of problems and pain and digestive issues and weight gain in surgery. So big payoff, small price. So these debris, they hinder the liver and gallbladder function, their ability to detoxify pollutants. They hinder healing from any kind of health condition. And so this flush, it can really help to flush out your liver and give it a boost in detoxifying your body and eliminate dozens of irritating symptoms, including food sensitivities. I touched on that earlier, that people do this. So many people have reported their food sensitivities disappearing. I mean, just overnight gone. That might not happen for you. It might take you a few flushes. You might have to do one flush a month for 6 months to enjoy that same benefit. But hey, what's your alternative? Not a lot of solutions for food sensitivities, right, from your doctor. So we'll get more into this and the gallbladder flushes and how to do them on the next webinar. But I wanted you to make sure you get all the stuff. I'll go over the ingredients to do this flush. So the first thing you're going to need is apple juice, and a lot of it. So you're going to need about 3 quarts or liters of apple juice. It needs to be fresh. It needs to be unfiltered without preservatives. You want to think it having like sediment in the juice. Ideally, you want to juice the apples yourself. That's what I'm going to do for the cleanse. But you can, it's better if it's fresh. If you can get it from the market where it's been fresh squeezed or freshly juiced in like a carton, that's better. But if you don't have any alternative, then just whatever, get it in a glass bottle. We're not using treetop for this cleanse. We're not using, Martinelli's. That's not what we're talking about here. We need it to be unprocessed, unfiltered. And apples are grown, if they're not organic, they have a lot of arsenic in them. So that apple juice, if it's not organic, it's going to have a lot of arsenic. So you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. So make sure you get the right kind of apple juice. And and basically you have to drink a quart of that or a liter every day for 3 days. So some of you guys can't do that. Whatever, you're diabetic, you're on keto, or it freaks you out, the thought of that. Then I have a no sugar version, And so with that, it's the same thing, 1 liter of water, and you'll add to that some lemon juice. You'll add 90 drops of this NutraWest Ultra Phos drops. It's basically phosphoric acid and a couple other things. And you'll add the juice of 1 lemon to that. And then you'll also take the malic acid. So the apple juice, 1 liter of apple juice has about 400 to 600 milligrams of malic acid. That's why we're drinking apple juice. But if you don't want to drink the juice, you can just take a supplement, take the malic acid here. And so, but if you do the apple juice, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be adding the juice of 1 lemon to that, and also 90 drops of the NutraWest Ultra Phos. In the program guide that I had a link to this, and then they ran out, which I apologize. I didn't anticipate that. I'm sure some of you guys were frantically looking for the NutraWest Ultra Phos drops, but there's an alternative, and I put the new link in the program guide. So some of you guys who are, signed up late or logged in late, then you'll have the correct link to Super Phos 30 on Amazon. So if for some reason you couldn't find this, you can get it tomorrow from Amazon by getting the Super Phos 30, PHOS. So this is going to be really, really key, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is like the magic ingredient. And so 1 liter of that a day, and then we do that for 3 days. And then on the 3rd night, you're going to drink a cup of olive oil, or 270 grams. And so you want it to be organic. You want it to be extra virgin cold expeller pressed. And so I belong to the fresh pressed olive oil club. The quality of these oils is ridiculous. And you get these little bottles like this. So I'm going to be using this olive oil, but every quarter you get like 3 bottles of olive oil, and they're just amazing. If you go on my website and type in olive oil, you'll find like a link to this club. It's amazing. So, but any olive oil, organic, extra virgin, cold expeller, that'll do. And then to that, you're going to add a couple organic lemon juice, or the juice of 2 organic lemons. Don't use concentrate or store-bought juice, just juice a lemon. And then also, every night before you go to bed on the liver flush, you're going to be taking what's called ozonated magnesium. And there's a lot of different brands of this that you can get. Some of you guys already have it in your cabinet and forgot why you bought it. So it's also known as Mag 07, Magnesium 07, or it's essentially like OxyMag, or Global Healing Center has an Oxy powder product. It's all the same. So it doesn't really matter what brand you buy. And so this is the Aerobic Life Magnesium 07. And it's basically ozonated magnesium. So it goes in your gut, and it just starts killing off all the bad bugs and toxins and bad bacteria and yeast, and just, it's awesome. So you're going to get a nice colon cleanse while doing the liver flush. And so any brand's fine. You can get this on Amazon. There's links in the how to do a liver flush guide. And but like I said, the only products of these you can get in my store is the malic acid. So it's stored at myersdetox.com. It just wasn't practical to have any of this stuff in the store. And then the next thing you want to get is hydrochloric acid capsules. These are also in my store as well. I apologize. So I just got these. Are now any betaine HCl or betaine hydrochloric acid is fine. They're all generally the same. And so you have to have this to kind of activate the Mag 07. It will not work as well unless you have you take this also. You only need 1 capsule of this, but you have to take it at the same time as the Mag 07. Okay, so these are 2 best friends right there. And so, and then also, this recommendation might annoy some of you guys, but this olive oil mixture with the lemon juice doesn't taste that great. and it's just not pleasant. So for some of you, if you're really having trouble getting it down, you can put a cup of Coca-Cola in it and mix it up really fast and drink it, and it'll make it a lot more palatable, make it go down easier. Some people get nauseated with it, and I think the Coke, or it could even be some sparkling water, could just kind of help get it down and ease it down. It's not very pleasant. But what I like about this liver flush is it's not using the Epsom salts. I've done like the classic Andrea Moritz Epsom salt one is just really nauseating because you have to drink like several cups of Epsom salts, and not very. And the reason they do that is to help you to cleanse your colon, help you get that urge to go to the bathroom. But we're doing that with this MAG 07 and getting extra benefits with the MAG 07. So this is a much, much more preferable way to get that bowel release than drinking Epsom salts. Because I did that, and I never wanted to do another liver flush again with having to drink Epsom salts. It was really nauseating. So this is the one that it just works a lot better. It feels better, and it's more effective, in my opinion. And so let's talk about each ingredient in the liver gallbladder flush and why we're using that. So the malic acid helps to soften gallstones and liver stones. There's pectin in the apple juice, and that also helps to soften and flatten the stones in the liver and gallbladder, and it'll help, their passage through the bile ducts. The ozonated magnesium, or oxymag, contains super oxygenated magnesium, and it helps to oxygenate your body, detoxify tissues in your liver and colon, clean and improve bile function, and just generally rejuvenates your health. You're just unleashing tons of oxygen. And that also helps to break down fecal matter to a liquid or very soft state as well. So in other words, you're going to be going back. So just be aware of that. So I have in the directions to just take one capsule to begin with. That's enough for most people to go to the bathroom. Some people need to take 6 capsules of this. And so everyone's a little bit different. So I recommend starting with 1 capsule and working your way up. But if you have diarrhea, that's okay. You're cleaning out your colon, that's not an issue. Might be an issue if you have to go to the bathroom, a lot at work. But you have to just do what works for you, or try to do this colon cleanse maybe when you have some time off, or you definitely want it to end. You want to be drinking the olive oil mixture the day before you have a time off. Definitely don't make any plans to work or, social functions or anything the day after you're drinking the olive oil mixture in the evening. And all these instructions are very clearly spelled out in the program guide, and the how to do a liver gallbladder flush, and in the program guide, the 14-day cleanse program guide. So it's just, you're going to the bathroom, but that's what you want. That's what you want to happen, even though it might not be terribly pleasant. You're cleansing out your body. So the betaine hydrochloric acid, like I said, it helps to activate and release the oxygen into your system from the MAG 07. And the NutraWest Phos drops, or the Super Phos 30, aid in softening the gallstones for easier elimination. And then, like I said, the Coke just makes the liver, the olive oil mixture you drink on this flush more palatable. I know it's toxic, but once probably won't kill you. So this is just for those that they start to drink the olive oil and they're like, I can't do this. Put some Coke in it. It'll help it. Just once is fine. And then I want to talk about essential oils, because I really love essential oils, and there's some essential oils that aid liver function and the gallbladder. And these are by Vibrant Blue Oils, and these are great. So when you're doing a coffee enema or you're doing the liver flush, you can take these oils and put them in. You can just smell them, or you can put them in whatever it's called, a vaporizer. I forget what it's called. It helps to get the oils into the air, and the diffuser. Sorry, my brain's blanking on that. So you can put these in a diffuser, and these are amazing. This is the liver one. And so Jody, this just smells so heavenly, this liver one. And so these things help to get into the limbic system of the brain and help the liver work a little bit better and relieve detox symptoms, relieve nausea, relieve any kind of issues with the liver. And so this is a great quick fix, especially if you're having some like liver problems. These can really, really help. And if you're detoxing your body, if you kind of do it on a regular basis, these are a great adjunct. And what I like about these is, when I first started learning about essential oils, there's just so many individual ones. There's so many of them and they're really expensive. And so I just didn't really, you have to kind of educate yourself to know which ones you need to get, to elicit whatever goal you're trying to elicit. So whatever health goal you're trying to meet, whether it's relaxing or energizing or weight loss or whatever you're trying to do. So what I like about my friend Jody Cohen did is with the Vibrant Blue oils, she has these blends for specific issues. So she's got a liver blend, which all these things in here help the liver. And so I love diffusing this one. It's one of my favorite ones. And then there's one for the gallbladder. So if you feel like, and I use both of these, but for some people that particularly have gallbladder issues, this is a great one to use as well. This has a really nice smell as well. So you can just smell these, or like I said, you can diffuse them. You can put them in a carrier oil, like a coconut oil, put them over your liver or gallbladder also, just a few drops. And but Jody has a whole line of essential oils for specific issues, which I just love that because it takes the guesswork out of trying to figure out which ones you need. She also has this parasympathetic one, which is really nice to help relax the nervous system if you feel stressed, gets you in to that parasympathetic rest, digest, detox state. It also smells really, really nice. So I'll give you guys some links to check these out. Jody also donated a whole guide to essential oils to help with detox. So that's also in the course as well. But if you guys want to check these out, I'll give you guys the links right here. Just in case you're excited about them and want to check them out, you can do that right here. So there's those links. And so that's it. That's all I wanted to review with you guys. We have an hour and 20 minutes. Oh my gosh. So let's do some Q&A. I'll answer your questions. And next week's webinar, I'm going to switch things around a little bit because I realized I hadn't planned this is that great. Next week, we're going to review advanced liver detox protocols, how to increase bile production with food and supplements, fiber for colon cleansing. I'll give you some tips on that. Coffee enemas in depth, liver flushes in depth, castor oil packs in depth. So I just kind of touched on it today. We're going to get really into it next week so that you guys will be kind of committed for life to wanting to do these things. And so I'll get to your questions here. I'm so happy there's over 80 people on here. Thank you so much for joining me. So Sandy, so I'm going to start from the bottom. Okay. So Rondi, so excited to be here. Can't wait to learn more. Thanks for joining. Melissa, greetings from Southern California. I'm here. Also, I'm in Huntington Beach. So Jim, so hi, Wendy. I have a question about day 13 of the cleanse. It calls for drinking a lot of olive oil, but I don't have a gallbladder. Do you feel that this would be okay for me, or do you have another suggestion? And since I don't have a gallbladder, should I take the FOS drops during the cleanse since they seem to target the gallbladder? Yeah, so this is why I created a video for you guys that don't have a gallbladder. It's with Michael McAvoy. He's one of the most brilliant practitioners I know. Oh my God, every time I talk to him, my brain explodes because he's so brilliant and he's so dedicated to learning. And so we did a whole video about how to optimize gallbladder function, what the gallbladder does, and what to do if you don't have a gallbladder. So Jim, that'd be very important for you to watch. I'm sure you've already watched it. So it's okay for you to still drink the olive oil. The olive oil is going to purge your liver. You can also do things like you can take a lot of lipase and digestive enzymes right before you do that to kind of help you kind of deal with all that stuff. But the purpose of doing this is for, it will help turn your liver inside out, because even if you don't have a gallbladder, you still need to purge stuff that's in the liver. So this is not only a gallbladder cleanse, it's a liver cleanse as well. And so we need to do stuff to, get all the stones and debris and gravel and other stuff that's in the liver. So that's okay. If you're worried about it, you can do like half the olive oil. You can start slow, do half the olive oil for this first flush, see how you do. And if you're all good to go, the next flush that you do maybe in a month, do a little bit more olive oil and just, see how you do. That's okay. Because you guys, like I said, are going to do this several times. So when you first start, you can kind of go easy. And maybe if you're concerned for whatever reason, you can do less of the olive oil and then do more of the next one. And so for the phos drops, these soften liver stones also. So these are phosphorus, which, not going to hurt you if you don't have a gallbladder, but they're going to help to soften any type of stone that's in the liver or the gallbladder. So these are still fine to take. And so Diane, so should you continue taking other supplements during this detox? So yes, you can totally take other supplements. It's not a problem at all. My only recommendation, and I have this in the directions, is when you're doing the liver gallbladder flush, you want to stop your other supplements. Okay. It's fine if you want to take some minerals, magnesium, or you have to have your zinc, or, you can't live without your B vitamins in the morning, or you take supplements for sleep. That's fine, but if you're taking stuff that's really not necessary, like resveratrol or turmeric or some other things like that, they're not 100% necessary. Some antioxidants and things like that, fish oil, you'll live without those supplements. So you can discontinue those during the liver flush. Okay. So Gretchen, hello from New Jersey. Thanks for joining us. And so Diane, is it okay to do 12 to 18-hour intermittent fasting with this detox? Yes, yes, that's totally fine. I mean, I have the directions, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you don't eat that, you can adjust that to your schedule, whatever you're doing. So that's not a problem at all. So it's one of those things, if you only eat 2 meals a day, it's better for your liver if you eat breakfast in the morning and eat lunch and then skip dinner. If you only eat 2 meals a day, or you're doing intermittent fasting, it's better to time it in that way, because that's better for your liver. It's better for liver, it's better for your insulin sensitivity, because your body is more insulin and glucose sensitive in the morning. So you're better off eating your biggest meal in the morning, and then you're less glucose sensitive or less insulin sensitive towards the end of the day, towards the evening. And this is especially important if you're overweight, have diabetes, have insulin resistance, pre-diabetic, whatever. You want to kind of flip that switch and start eating your biggest meal in the morning. And that also helps to set your circadian rhythms. That helps your liver to set your circadian rhythms properly, so you sleep better. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes about 6 weeks of doing that for your liver to kind of be like, oh, wow, I have to change up what I'm doing here, because your meal timing really kind of sets your liver up for success. And so the worst thing you can do for liver detox and liver care is eat a big old meal right before you go to bed. You just threw a big wrench in your liver's ability to detox. So it starts detoxing roughly about 11 p.m. So you need to be asleep with an empty stomach when you go to bed. Before you need to be asleep by 11 p.m. ideally. And if you don't, you're shortchanging your liver. You're shortchanging your liver detox by an hour, maybe 2 hours every day. And guess what? That starts adding up over time. So you're better off, like I said, biggest meal in the morning, medium-sized lunch, very light or small dinner, a little salad, a little broth, maybe, no food after 7 p.m. That's the ideal liver weight loss diet. So Rondi, so I noticed that. Oh, well. Sandy, hello from Sunnyvale, California. Thanks for joining us. The link that you provided for the FOS drops says they're out of stock. Do you have another source? Yes, I'm so sorry about that. I had no idea that a huge company like the Pure Formulas website would run out of these drops. I guess they're not as plentiful as I thought, but I found a backup. Like I said, the Amazon Super FOS 30, same exact thing. It's just, I'm not sure if it's in glass. I'm pretty sure this is the Ultra FOS, the Nutra West FOS drops are in glass, but I'm not sure about the Amazon because I haven't ordered those, but it's the exact same ingredients. And so Wendy, hello from Calgary, Canada. Thanks for joining us. Nicole, hi from Toronto. So Lisa, so is there a test for fatty liver? So what they usually do is they test your liver enzymes and they'll do some imaging. And then based on those, they'll give you a diagnosis. So there might be other tests. I'm not 100% sure, but I did do, I knew you guys were going to have these questions. So I did a video with Julie Donaldson on fatty liver. So we watched that. It will answer a lot of your questions and special considerations for diet and health to reverse fatty liver. You can reverse it by doing all these things on the cleanse, but doing them for life, not doing just this 14 days. You have to do this stuff ongoing. So Wendy, I love coffee enemas. Yay, go Wendy's. I love coffee enemas also. I swear to God, I want to do a Facebook Live one time with like a crown and a sash with the coffee enema queen and try to get people on board to do coffee enemas, but I don't know why people just aren't that excited about them. But Anita, so can we substitute malic acid supplement instead of the apple juice? Yes. So I have candida and don't want all the natural sugar in the apple juice. Yes, exactly. So I already anticipated you guys were not going to be happy with drinking gallons and gallons of apple juice. So yes, you can take malic acid in a liter of water with lemon juice and the FOS drops. Perfectly suitable alternative. You'll get the same results. You don't get the pectin in the apple juice, but you'll live with that. You will get pectin in the CitraCleanse. If you take the CitraCleanse, there's pectin in there, and the pectin softens liver and gallbladder stones. So that's the same thing. So let's see. Next question here. Oh yeah. So so Catherine, our moderator, she posted where to get the super liver gallbladder cleanse, the super FOS 30. So that's posted here. That's great. So Diane, can you do castor oil packs daily if you need to be more calm? Yes, yeah, you can do the castor oil packs every single night. There's no harm in that whatsoever. So those are something you can do every single day and it's fine. And some people can do coffee enemas every single day. So, some people do just perfectly fine with that. And a lot of people, once they start doing them and they feel the benefits and they're doing a lot of intense detox, some people need them every single day. If you have a chronic health condition, chronic constipation, cancer, you need to do them every single day. But for for a reasonably healthy person, every other day is a really nice pace, but you just have to listen to your body. Some people, do coffee enemas and it's just, it's just too much for them every single day. They have like mineral loss or it makes them too tired or just kind of draining to them for whatever reason. When you do coffee enemas, you can get low blood sugar afterwards. Just to be aware of that. That's totally normal. You just want to make sure you maybe eat something before or after the coffee enema. And so just be aware of that. So Deborah, what are your thoughts and experiences with multiple chemical sensitivities? Well, that's because your liver is over it. Your liver can't take anymore, and it makes you have this reaction to them telling you, get away from that, please, we can't take any more. And so when you purge your liver, when you do coffee enemas, liver flushes, that reduces. Sensitivities, even to foods, can vanish. And so this is going to be really, really key for you if you are dealing with multiple chemical sensitivity. This is the resolution for that. But also, again, a lot of you guys coming here have, not done any type of detox before. You may not have resolution of everything, of all your symptoms, after one liver flush, or resolution of food sensitivities or chemical sensitivities. You may have to do one a month for a few months to get relief. So just keep at it. You will eventually, your liver will start flushing everything, and you flush it again and flush it again, and it will function better and better and better, and you won't have this reactivity that you're having right now. So KJ, so in the general guidelines, it says to take 2 scoops of daily detox every day, but in the daily instructions, it only calls to take 1 scoop in the morning. Yeah, so sorry about that. So what I designed this intensive 14-day cleanse to be was to take 2 scoops per day. So to take 1 scoop in the morning, another scoop another time in the day. You can do 2 scoops in a smoothie as well. But generally, like in the instructions that come with the when you purchase Daily Detox, it just says take 1 scoop. But because we're doing an intensive liver cleanse, I'm having people take 2 scoops a day. So you can take 1 or 2, totally up to you. So Danielle, so I'm still breastfeeding my daughter. Are there any parts of detox that are safe at this point, or should I stick to the nutrition only? So here's the thing. When you're breastfeeding, the things for detox that you can do are you can take binders, because binders just soak up all kinds of stuff that prevent toxins from getting in the breast milk and then your baby. So those are perfectly safe to do. Coffee enemas are totally fine to do, because you're just flushing the liver out. You're not going to get stuff going into your breast milk. Liver flushes, I think, are perfectly fine to do, because again, you're flushing stuff out and then you excrete it immediately. So I don't think any of those things are problematic. I think the daily detox is perfectly fine because it's liver support supplements. So that's perfectly fine to take. And you can do the nutrition as well. So I just don't see any issues with taking stuff. I wouldn't do any kind of things. I wouldn't take ageless silica. I wouldn't take anything that's mobilizing toxins and going to get them into your bloodstream. I wouldn't take anything like that. So I would not take the Citra Cleanse because that has fulvic humic and cilantro extract. I would not take that, but you can take another binder like a Pectosol C or a charcoal or something like that, and that's perfectly fine. So Brian, hi Wendy, I love listening to you on YouTube. I put my clients through cleanses, always looking for new ideas. Yeah, so this program will be available at any time. It's going to be on the website forever. So even though we're doing the live webinars now, anyone can do these at any time. So definitely have your clients do them. This is a great cleanse to do, and I'm so happy. I've been wanting to create this for so long, and because I can't express how important it is to do liver cleanses. And I work with clients and I say, take all these supplements and then do this test. And, and I tell them to do coffee enemas and liver flushes, and that kind of like falls on deaf ears because people don't really want to do it. But so I think this really brings it to the forefront and gives me the opportunity to really give a crash course on how important it is to do liver cleansing. So thanks for joining me, for you guys there, all you guys that join me. So Subhan, so if already on Pectosol C, can I substitute this for the Citra Cleanse? Absolutely, perfectly suitable substitute. I love Pectosol C. So Nicole, I work 9 to 5 and I'm trying to figure out how to schedule. Am I looking at much earlier mornings to get in all of my activities in? So for the coffee enemas are the only thing you want to do probably before you go to work. And they can take as little as 20 minutes. They don't have to take a long time. They can be done very, very quickly. A lot of people that are in a hurry like the coffee enema pump and catheter, because that one, you can do it while you're in the shower. You can do it, put the coffee in, take a shower, excrete, maybe rinse off, and then you're done. So you can kind of do it while you're doing other things. So some people like that. And, but the other things like the liver flush, you're just going to do the liver flush on a weekend. So make sure you do it like on a Friday night or a Saturday night. and like you're doing the olive oil mixture on a Friday or Saturday night. So the next day you can relax, you can rest, and you're going to be going to the bathroom. And some people get kind of nauseated too, but that passes. It's normal. It's okay. That just can be part of it. And that's just what happens to some people. And so Sandy, so wata, so why don't they make it in something not plastic? Well, I explained that the problem is that glass steals electrons. And the whole point of this is to have super, super, super charged electrons. This is the fifth phase of water, a gaseous state of water infused into this water. So that's really what we're after, is the gas. But the reason they don't put it in glass is because the glass steals the electrons that helps to ground your body and negatively charge it, which is the state you have to be in to be healthy. That's a state you have to be in for your body to work. We're electrical beings. EMF is robbing us of that. It's robbing of our negative charge and our ability to function properly. And it's why a lot of people are sick, actually. A lot of people have fatigue and mystery illness, and they can't figure it out. EMF plays a big role, and it's going to play a bigger role with 5G rolling out in more and more cities around the world. So Wata is your best friend. Don't even think about the plastic. I don't care about the plastic when it comes to this water, because the benefits are a million times more than any plastic exposure you might be getting. And so listen to the podcast with Rob Gorley on myearthdetox.com, and just trust me. So Leslie, hi from Lander, Wyoming. How are you? Ruth, I love my Wata. Yes, everyone that drinks it is a convert. Because what happens when you first get it, don't drink a liter when you first get it. It's too much. When I first started drinking it, I was high for 4 days. I was definitely in need of electrons, the hydrogen, the oxygen that it floods your body with, and it just lights your brain right up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm signing up for that. Thanks. So this is like one of my secret weapons in health, detoxification, hydration, and just feeling better. So Sandy, so please give us recipes on how to use mustard greens. I chop finely and put in salads. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I should. I'll do that. I haven't been doing recipes lately because I've just been so busy doing other things. But I do plan to resume at some point. But it's just a lot of things I want to accomplish, and articles and blog posts and programs and information I want to create. So I'll try to get to that at some point. I don't know when I will though. But mustard greens are awesome. So Sandy, so do you have the coffee enema in the bathroom near the toilet? My bathroom is small and gross, and I have been waiting until I move to do them. So it's okay. Some people, everyone's different. Like I put like a little couple towels down on the floor in my bathroom, and I put a couple pillows, and then, do my coffee enema, and I'm right in the bathroom. Some people, I used to do it in my bathtub, just in case I had an accident. It was easy to clean up. Accidents happen, even to the pros. And other people, like with a catheter and pump, you can just do it sitting on the toilet, just reading your iPhone or something. So you can still do them, even if your bathroom is small and gross. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, hopefully you move soon. But if you can't, in the meantime, you can do the catheter and pump if you don't want to lay down in your bathroom. Some people lay down in their bed, but accidents do happen. I don't want to be anywhere near my bed when I'm doing a coffee enema. So Sandy, I am more afraid of the liver, gallbladder flush, drinking oil, etc., than the coffee enemas. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. It's just one of those things where you drink it, it tastes a little bit nasty, and then you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to the bathroom a lot. Not a big deal. Nothing that you haven't really dealt with already. So it's not really a big deal. They're just some people, if they're kind of ill. If you have multiple health conditions, it might be a little bit more rough for you. You might have some nausea, but you'll live. It's not a big deal. So nothing to be afraid of. So Lisa, so I love coffee enemas. Yeah, see all these converts, all you guys that are freaked out about coffee enemas, all these people are posting they love coffee enemas. There's a reason for that. They're amazing. You feel amazing after you do one. So one, I'm a little nervous about the coffee enemas. First, I don't drink coffee and consume very little caffeine. I'm also nervous because I'm older and have a hard time getting up off the floor. So where can I do it since I've already purchased the bucket? So for you, so here's the thing. You don't need to use 2 tablespoons of coffee. And I talk about this in the How to Do a Coffee Enema Guide. You only need the amount of caffeine for you and your liver to elicit a response, to get it, kind of dilating and then purging. And for some people, that's very little caffeine. I mean, some people only need maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of ground coffee in a whole bucket here to get the same response. To get the same response as me doing those 2 tablespoons of coffee. So you only need what your body needs. And so don't be worried about the caffeine. Just do a tiny, tiny little bit. And you can always increase it, over time. Do it like maybe an eighth of a teaspoon or a quarter of a teaspoon of coffee. And then for a couple of weeks, and then increase it. A couple of weeks at that level, then increase it. You don't have to do a ton. So you don't have to worry about that you're caffeine intolerant, because it has a different effect than when you drink it. It's just it's like a muted effect. It's not the same. But there's some people that are really sensitive to caffeine. They're just not going to be able to do them. Coffee enemas aren't for everyone. So you have to listen to your body. No matter what I say, listen to your body. And first and foremost, and that goes with every book, every, protocol, diet, etc. Listen to your body first. It's, and heed its call. So for some people that are allergic to caffeine and they just can't tolerate it. So for those, just water would be fine. And so if you're nervous, you can't get off the floor, but worried about that, you can do a coffee enema on the toilet. The only thing to remember is, the coffee enemas work by gravity. So you have to have this about 3 feet above where it's going into your rectum. So it has to be kind of high. So you might just have to put it on a shelf or something like that in order to get the coffee to kind of come down. And that's where that problem is kind of solved with the Eileen Durfee's Creatrix Solutions coffee enema catheter and pump. Because the pump, then you don't have to do the whole gravity thing. You can just hold it and pump it, and you get coffee enema just on the toilet. So that's another solution for you. If for some reason you're just having a heart, you're wrestling with the bucket and it's just not working for whatever reason, that's another option. So next question here. So Mark, I'm freaked out about the coffee enemas too. I know, it's okay. Everyone's freaked out about the coffee enemas. They're not a big deal. You feel amazing. So the first time or two when you do them, it can be a little bit like you're kind of unsure and you're not sure how to make it. Are you following the instructions correctly? It might be messy. You're not going to screw it up. Okay. You don't have to follow the directions perfectly. It's, you're not going to screw it up. Just follow the directions the best you can, get through it a time or two, and then you'll get it. And you can do it really quickly, really easily. You'll get your little system down that you have. Like Eileen Durfee, she likes a percolator. She likes to percolate her coffee. I just throw it on my old coffee grinds in some water and boil them for 10 minutes and then strain them and add some, filtered water to that to do my enema. Other people make their coffee for the week and they put it in the fridge just so it's like ready to go, and they can just do it in the morning and just pour a little of the coffee in their bucket and warm it up a little bit. So everyone's just kind of different in their little lifestyle and rhythm and how they do it. There's nothing to be freaked out about it. But I know kind of guys will get a little bit more weirded out about, putting coffee in their rectum, but you get used to it. That the health benefits are so tremendous, and the relief from pain, from PMS, menstrual cramps for women, for any type of pain, headaches, depression, anxiety, nausea, improved detoxability, all the different benefits of it. You just gonna have to overcome that hump where you're a little bit kind of freaked out about it. You'll get over it. But some people try them and they're just like This is just not for me. But and you can just do a liver flush. That's fine. So Wendy, I hate coffee and I don't drink it, but I really love my coffee enemas for those who are nervous. Yeah, because the feeling is different than it's a muted response. You're just kind of a little bit like kind of stimulated and turned on, kind of like a light bulb turns on in your brain. It's not like this jittery anxiety type feeling you might have if you're sensitive to caffeine and you drink a cup of coffee. It's different. But if you're worried about caffeine, like I said, just do a little bit. So KJ, so how long do I need to wait to take my thyroid medication after taking CitraCleanse? So I'd wait an hour. So what I would do is take your thyroid medication first thing in the morning, and then an hour later doing the CitraCleanse, or take the CitraCleanse between a meal. So about 30 to 60 minutes away from food and supplements. But your thyroid medication's priority, so take that just first thing in the morning, and then the CitraCleanse at least an hour later. Casey got us a mustard greens recipe. Awesome. Oh, Southern collard greens. Yes, substitute that for mustard greens. That works. Thank you, Casey. So Tammy, so do you have a recommendation for an inexpensive coffee grinder, as I don't drink coffee? Yeah, coffee grinders are really cheap. I mean, you can get them for like the Krups one for like $10 or $20. There's probably tons on OfferUp that are brand new that someone got for a gift, that you could probably get one for $5 on OfferUp or on Facebook or something that's never been opened. So those are really easy and cheap to come by. So Tracy, if your bowels are being evacuated every day, then why do a coffee enema? So coffee enemas are not about cleaning out your bowels. They're not about going to the bathroom. They are about wringing out your liver. The caffeine, the palmitic acid, all the theobromine, all go from the coffee into your liver, and they dilate all the capillaries, the bile ducts, and they cause the liver to dump all of its bile with the toxins into your intestines for elimination. So it's kind of like wringing out your liver like a sponge. So it's not for going to the bathroom. That's a side effect of it. That's one of those things that happens when you do a coffee enema, but that's not the goal. That's a benefit, especially for people that are constipated. So that's a common misconception, that people are doing enemas to clean out their colon, and that's not what we're doing. It's solely for purging and cleansing and stimulating the liver to dump its toxins so it can get to the next batch. Dump its toxins, get to the next batch, so it can actually clean up your body, because the liver is usually backlogged. It usually has a lot of stuff it just can't get to, and it stores it in your fat. And that's why people are 10, 15, 100 pounds overweight. The body has got to store this garbage somewhere if the liver can't get to it. And that's why, when people live in the toxic environment that we do today, and they have toxins, metals, chemicals, pesticides in the air, food, and water, over decades, that stuff builds up. And eventually you reach this tipping point where you start having symptoms like fatigue and poor sleep and a bad mood and hormone imbalance and brain fog and other symptoms. And you develop autoimmune disease or thyroid issues or whatever the case may be, however you manifest your metal toxicity and chemical toxicity. Your liver at some point can't deal with that, and the body just starts storing it away in different places because the liver can't get to it. So coffee enemas are essential in helping get that factory line, that production line going on a faster rate to detox you. So Sandy, so are you saying we need to buy whole beans and grind them? Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I need to look at what I bought many months ago, bought all supplies, including the bucket, and never did the coffee enema because of my yucky bathroom. So I'll research the pump and bag, and have done water enemas in the past with the bag. They were fantastic. Great. Yeah. So water enemas are great. I do those sometimes. Sometimes I just need to, for whatever reason, I'm having a lot of gas, or I just feel too full, or whatever the case may be. And at night, I'll do a water enema, because if I did a coffee enema, I'd be awake. It's caffeine. It's going to keep you awake. So you want to make sure if you do a coffee enema, you're doing it before 2 or 3 p.m. And if you feel like you need to do an enema, like you're constipated, or you just sometimes, if you're eating a lot of beans or eating a lot of healthy food or sulfur-rich foods, you'll get gas and maybe you're constipated for whatever reason, and that can interfere in your sleep. So it's good to do a water enema to kind of relieve that, so you get a better sleep. At least that's just me. So Tracy, so there are a lot of supplements to buy. I had not anticipated ordering all these extra supplements. So you don't have to buy CitraCleanse or Daily Detox. It's totally optional. It's there if you just want to optimize what you're doing. For the liver flush, yeah, you have to get some stuff. I mean, these supplements you're buying will last you a while. These are not terribly expensive. I mean, you're buying some Mago7, the malic acid, hydrochloric acid, and the phos drops. And so that's not terribly expensive, and you can use it many, many, many times for many liver flushes. So I realize there's something involved, extra purchases, but nothing I can do about that. These are the ingredients to get your liver to purge everything out of it. And so the coffee enema, that's a one-time investment in the bucket. And so, I mean, I think I've had this same bucket for 10 years. They last forever. I mean, it's a stainless steel bucket. So even though you have to spend some money, maybe $50 to get one, it lasts a really, really long time. So Nicole, thank you for the Canada link. No problem. Actually, Dr. Marisol is in Canada, so you'll get the Canada shipping there. And so Ela, so fellow FDN, looking forward to this cleanse. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm also a functional diagnostic nutritionist that went through Reed Davis's school. Highly, highly recommend it for anyone that's looking to take their hobby to the next level and become a practitioner. So Diane, so can you do castor oil packs daily if you want? Yes, you can. And so Sylvie, so I've been doing castor oil packs daily with a heating pad to try to reduce the size of a cyst tumor. Can I do castor oil packs daily? Yes, absolutely you can. You can do them daily because these are one of those things you can't get too much of. The castor oil is really, really beneficial. And you're just getting a lot of nutrients. Some people, for whatever reason, if their liver's not working properly, they can get a little bit nauseated if their liver can't handle the fat in the castor oil. But most people don't have any problem whatsoever with the castor oil packs. Next question here. Let's see. 1 second. Okay, so sorry about that. Just I had to text my daughter. She's in karate class right now. So let's see, next question. So Nicole, yes, I'm so happy with the no Epsom salts. Gross. Yeah, so I was mentioning how most liver flushes use Epsom salts, and they are just so nauseating. It's so disgusting. You have to drink this huge glass of, it's not even salt water. It's like magnesium sulfate. It tastes kind of like soapy and salty, and it's really disgusting. So this is a much, much better liver flush. And a lot of people that are sick, they just can't tolerate all the Epsom salts. It's just too much for them. There's better ways to get the bowels moving. So we use the Mago7 for that. And so Tammy, so I use Digestzymes from Designs for Health. Can I use that in lieu of the betaine HCl? Also, I can't swallow large pills. I'd rather do a powdered malic acid, which I've done in the past. Is that okay for this cleanse? Yes, you can use powdered malic acid. You can also buy the malic acid pills, the capsules, and just put them in the water. That you can open them up and put them in the water. That's perfectly fine. Your stomach doesn't know, and your liver won't know any difference whatsoever. As far as the enzymes, the enzymes are fine if they have hydrochloric acid in them. You have to have the hydrochloric acid to activate the magnesium, the O7, or the oxygenated magnesium. So as long as the Digestzymes have hydrochloric acid, which many digestive enzymes do, that's fine. So Kelly, I've done 22 liver flushes. Oh my gosh. And I use Calm Magnesium. It worked perfectly. That's great. That's great. So the calm magnesium has mag citrate in it, and that mag citrate will make you go to the bathroom. So that will work. That will work. But you're not going to get the benefit of the mag O7. So this is the mag O7 is not like a nutritive magnesium. All it is a carrier for ozone and oxygen. So this is not about magnesium. This is about oxygen, and then oxygen killing off bacteria, flooding your body with oxygen that saturates all of your tissues and gives you a lot of different benefits. So this is not about magnesium. The calm magnesium is not a replacement, but the calm magnesium does facilitate, or the natural calm magnesium will facilitate movement of your bowels, which is probably why you're using it. So everyone, there's different versions of liver flushes. This is the one that I like, that I think works the best. But if you're a pro, Kelly, so if that works for you, keep on doing it. You've done 22, so you're good. But yeah, but this might be a little upgrade to your way you're doing it. So Sandy, so is it okay to continue my parasite mold cleanse while I'm doing this 14-day cleanse? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it depends on what the products are, but those are perfectly fine to take. I probably just take a break from them while you're doing the liver flush stuff, while you're doing the 3 days of apple juice or malic acid water, and then the olive oil tincture. Just give your body a little break so it can just focus on cleansing. but yeah, it should be fine the other days. And next question here. So Wendy, so if you're doing a liver flush monthly for a while, is there a way you'll be able to tell that you don't need to do them that often? Yeah, so it really just depends. Like, so it depends on how you feel. If you're feeling really good, if a lot of your symptoms have gone away, then that's a sign you don't need to do them as often. You really, on a maintenance level, need to do them twice a year. That's a really good kind of maintenance schedule. But for someone who's never done any liver flushing, for someone has a health diagnosis or multiple ones, maybe do one a month for about 6 months. And then after that, do about 2 a year. That's in the liver gallbladder flush guidelines. So you guys can check those out, but that's a good pace. So Melissa, so what's your opinion on alpha lipoic acid for the liver dosage recommendation? So for lipoic acid, most lipoic acids are water soluble. That's all of them that you're going to find on the market. And they're fine. They work fine. But most of them are half synthetic, half natural. The R-lipoic acid is the natural. The L-lipoic is I forget. I have it switched around maybe, but one of them is like the synthetic. One is the natural one. I forget off the top of my head. But I like the fat soluble. I prefer and recommend the fat soluble lipoic acid. It's not alpha lipoic acid. It's fat soluble, and it's this. The R lipoic is the natural. The L lipoic acid is the synthetic. So this product, it's called Life Extension R-lipoic acid, or super R-lipoic acid. This is the only fat-soluble lipoic acid on the market that I'm aware of. There are probably more, but this is a really inexpensive one. You want to take about 600 milligrams of this a day, and this comes in 240 milligram capsules, so you can take about 2 of those. And this helps to get toxins out of your brain, which is made of fat. So the water-soluble lipoic acid is not going to work as well. This works about 2 to 3, maybe more times, or 200 to 300 or more percent than regular water-soluble lipoic acid. So much better. And it helps your liver function too. And so Ela, yeah, I agree. Michael McAvoy is brilliant. Yeah, he really is. So Kelly, so I've done multiple liver cleanses and look forward to trying this version. As an aside, I do like Epsom salts for liver flushes. However, I have encapsulated it before use, and I've not had any issues. Yeah, that's a good tip, to encapsulate it, put it in some little capsules, and then just take the Epsom salt that way and just drink a bunch of water. It can still make some people nauseous that way, but But you guys can look up after you've done this flush. You can look up the Andrea Moritz liver flush. I actually have it on my site. On myersdetox.com. If you type in liver flushes, I have the Andrea Moritz classic Epsom salt liver flush. You guys can try that one out. See which one you like better. So hi Wendy or Connie. I've had my gallbladder removed. Will it be okay for me to do everything on this program without a gallbladder, or are there specific instructions for that? So no, you'll be totally fine doing everything on this flush. There's no problem whatsoever. And you just may want to do a little bit less of the oil, maybe instead of a cup of olive oil, doing a half a cup. And then you can always do another flush in a month and then do more olive oil if the half a cup was okay for you. So, and there's also the video with Michael McAvoy where we talk about caring for your body without a gallbladder. There's some special recommendations, great tips from Michael McAvoy on that specifically. So Mary Starkey, so do you cover how to make your own unfiltered apple juice? Can I do this with a Vitamix, or does it have to be done with a juicer? So it's going to be, will be a real pain to make a liter of apple juice with a Vitamixer, but it can be done. So you would just have to throw all the apples in the Vitamix, grind them all up, and then just strain them like through a sieve or a nut milk bag. And then you could get the juice out. So that would be fine. And so you do either that or just run the apples through a juicer. No problem until you have a liter. I don't know offhand how many apples that would take, but it's a lot because it might take a couple pounds of apples to make a whole liter of apple juice. So next question here. So April, so I've been doing CitraCleanse for 3 weeks now. Is there an amount of time you should take it and then stop? Or could you take this every day forever? And so also, when should you time the daily green cleanse with it? I'm late coming, so I haven't reviewed any of the course materials yet. So sorry if it's all spelled out there. Yeah, so those are very good questions. So with the CitraCleanse, can you take it forever, every day? So there's, with any supplement, you should take breaks from it. With any supplement, and especially with CitraCleanse, because it's for detoxification, you do want to take breaks every once in a while. So, and that tends to happen naturally. People get sick when they go on the vacation, when they maybe run out of it. People just tend to take breaks naturally without even consciously having to think about that, or you just forget it one day. So I don't tend to, people to take breaks unless you're really dogmatic and you're taking it every day for years because it's good for you. But if you're that kind of person, yeah, I would force breaks. Don't take it for a month, a couple times a year. I think that's a good way to give your body a break, or do 1 week off every couple of months, and just give your body a break. That's fine. With the daily detox, that one's more gentle. You can take that on a daily basis, but again, you want to give your body a break occasionally because there's a lot of different ingredients in it. If you eat a food, like if you eat chicken every night for 2 years, your immune system's eventually going to launch a response to it because our bodies are just not made to be eating the same foods over and over and over, or the same supplements every day, day in, day out. You've got to change it up a little bit. So that's the case for any supplement, including CitraCleanse or daily detox. And so when should you time the daily greens with the CitraCleanse? So what I recommend people do is, take the CitraCleanse first thing in the morning if you're able to, because your liver has purged a lot of stuff. Your liver's been detoxing all night, so it's good to take a binder kind of right when you wake up. You can also do the CitraCleanse right before you go to bed as well. That's a good thing to do. In an ideal world, take it first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed. In an ideal world, because it stays in your system about 12 hours. And so if you take it in the morning and night, you'll always have some in your system kind of soaking things up. But you want to take the CitraCleanse about an hour roughly away from the daily detox. It can be as little as 30 minutes, but 30 to 60 minutes is a good ballpark. figure to space out the Citra Cleanse and the Daily Detox. And so Connie, so I had my gallbladder removed. So you asked that question before. So KJ, so can I use the activated silica instead of the ageless? Yes. If so, when do I take it? Add to my morning smoothie. Yeah, so the activated silica and ageless are similar, but the activated silica is only orthosilicic acid, and it's a certain form. The ageless AF is a more advanced form of orthosilicic acid that has a higher absorption rate. It has about double the absorption rate, and it has selenium, which is amazing for liver health and detox, and it has a little bit of garlic in it. And so so it is recommended to take it. You don't have to take it on the liver cleanse. It's not a liver specific supplement, so I don't have it, in the program, but I did. It's not in the program guidelines, but you can take it if you want. But yes, you can do the activated silica instead. It's amazing, amazing product. So what you would do is you can add it to your morning smoothie if you want, but I recommend taking it in a little shot of like lemon or lime or grapefruit or orange juice, just to help it absorb a little bit better. You don't have to do that with the ageless because it's a capsule. So you don't have to put it in orange juice or lemon or lime juice because it's a capsule. When you swallow it, your stomach acid will help to break it apart. But just the, and I also have people do a little bit of lime or lemon juice because it has a lot of potassium, and a lot of people are potassium deficient. So it's another benefit of doing a little shot of citrus juice with the activated silica. So Sandy, so I feel better now about the liver gallbladder cleanse after you explained it so well. So this is very exciting. Yeah. So there's a lot of, you're no different than a lot of people that have never done coffee enemas or liver flushes, and you have some trepidation. You've read stuff online. You look at Wikipedia. People die from coffee enemas, which is a bunch of just nonsense. I don't know who wrote that. I actually petitioned to change the coffee enema explanation and information, because I emailed them and I'm like, hey guys, this coffee enema article is really biased. It's saying that people die from it. And can you replace it with this one instead? And then they emailed me back and said that my article was biased. I thought that was so hilarious because I thought this article is biased. It's saying coffee enemas are bad. I'm like, so which one is biased? So anyways, yeah, there's a lot of trepidation around coffee enemas, but the benefits are so amazing. You can see the people on here going, I love coffee enemas. I love them. There's a reason for that. So Sandy, thanks. The pump sounds great for the coffee enema protocol. And so yeah, the pump is amazing. Eileen Durfee's amazing. I love her. She's a nuclear engineer, and she's taken all of her little engineering skills and trying to engineer all these amazing things for detox and kind of rethink them to create products that are really amazing. I love all her stuff. And so Ronnie, so Purity is offering a coffee grinder for $5 with the order of 2 bags of coffee. That's awesome. That's really cool. I saw that on their site earlier. It looks like a hand grinder or something. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, go for it. It's $5. You can't beat that. I mean, I have the electric grinder because you just put the beans in, you just shake it up and it grinds, and it's boom, it's done in 5 seconds. But yeah, if you want to try the $5 grinder, go for it. So Brian, don't you need fiber after a coffee enema so that bile does not recirculate back into the system? Yeah. So, it's one of those things where, after a coffee enema, most people need to eat something. So fiber can also come in the form of a meal, a salad, vegetables, beans. It's really, really important when you're doing detox to eat, or just a healthy diet, to eat a ton of fiber, a ton of plant matter, because that binds up toxins and metals. You don't only have to have a binder to do that. And so one of the binders that people are taking is the Citra Cleanse. That's a binder. It's got grapefruit pectin, which is a soluble fiber. And also the Daily Detox has inulin in it, and it has flaxseed fiber as well. So that's another fiber also. So between that and just eating a healthy diet, you're probably getting enough fiber or binders to bind up toxins. So the citrocleanse stays in your body for 12 hours. So as long as you've taken it in the morning, there's enough in your system still to grab onto toxins that you release with a coffee enema. Next question. So Terry Merrill, how are you? So can you recommend a great juicer? I love veggie juices, but want to be able to juice apples and celery. My old Huron slow juicer is slow, hard to clean, and jams a lot. Yeah, so I bought a Huron also, and it's awesome. And I have the Huron. I bought it because I wanted to juice sprouts and lettuces and other things. And but I realize I'm gonna have to have two juicers. I'm just gonna have to face up to it. I really like the Breville. The Breville, I had that sucker for 10 years and it was amazing. It never jammed. It's like a wood chipper. You just put those carrots in and they're done in 5 seconds. And you can get more juice if you kind of take out the pulp and then juice it again. You get a little bit more juice out of it. So, and I found that the Huron, the carrots jammed it up and actually broke it. I actually broke one the second I used it, and they sent me another one. So the Huron's great for slow juicing, masticating, retains the most nutrients, great for lettuces, because lettuces and sprouts just don't work in a Breville juicer. But I really honestly liked my Breville better than the Huron juicer. And it's really easy to clean and take apart. So I love Breville. So Deborah, I was wondering about your thoughts for all the people with bowel diseases, celiac, IBS, etc. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can still do this just the same. I mean, even more so, I think it'd be even more important for people with bowel issues to do coffee enemas to kind of clean out that area. You change the acidity, you change the pH of the colon. That starts killing off a lot of, I've had clients have clumps of worms come out of them just because they're changing the pH in their colon. And they're full of worms, tapeworms. I've had rope worms come out of people just from doing coffee enemas. And I know that probably just makes you want to sign up right away. But it's true. And a lot of people that have colon issues, they need to do coffee enemas. They need to clean out their colon on a regular basis. They need to clean out their liver so that their body is more resilient to whatever is contributing to that health issue. Because it's not all genetics. Genetics is just the gun. Environment is the bullet and the trigger. So lifestyle, diet, toxins, things like that. So, it's really even more important for anyone with a diagnosis to be doing this type of cleanse. And so, oh my God, we're done. That's all the questions. And I'm losing my voice. We've been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's amazing. Marathon webinar. So you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And like I said, next week, we're going to do a deep dive on advanced liver detox protocols and go into even more depth than we did today. And this video is going to be posted in the course. So if you guys missed it, you missed the first part, don't worry. Tonight, this is going to get into the course. It'll be like just a video in the course software. You'll also be emailed a replay link, so you can watch the replay at any time. You'll get that email tomorrow afternoon. You might have already been sent the link. I'm not sure, but you'll get the replay if you want to start it from the beginning. And yeah, so that's about it. So thanks you guys so much for joining me on the cleanse. And I'll talk to you guys next week, Thursday, same time. It's a date.